to cut the amount it spends on the salaries for its senior managers by 25% over the next 3.5 years. 18% of senior management posts will be cut, and it's a pay freeze for a lot of managers. It's already in force and it's going to continue. Chairman of the BBC Trust, Sir Michael Lyons, said cuts have to be made.
This is a public organisation. It's funded by the licence fee payer, and we have to squeeze every pound as hard as we can. As you know, Director General has already made it public that he's seeking, as he renegotiates contracts for on-screen talent wherever possible, to get substantial reductions because of changed market conditions. And that's in part why it's possible to bring these proposals forward.
Sean Springer is Chief Executive of Square Mile Services. They advise companies on remuneration. I suppose, Sean, it's a reasonable thing to do to cut their salaries because there's not many other places they can go at the moment, is there? So, I mean, just on a financial ground, you could probably, as a management, you could do it.
Well, absolutely. You know, the BBC is a public organisation. It's paid for by the taxpayer. It has been vilified, rightly so, for overpaying certain stars. With regards to the management side of things and cutting senior managers by 18% over the next 3.5 years, as well as reducing the total numbers rather by 18% and the salaries by 25%. This is clearly part of a strategy for the BBC, the sort of the giant monolith it has become, with the increasing clamour to break it up into other parts or sell off or whatever the case may be. I mean, it's not for me to speculate on BBC's strategy, but certainly they're making the right financial moves, and some may argue the right moral moves. Right,
so it's part of a defence mechanism. The same thing doesn't necessarily happen elsewhere. Banking, for instance, does it? You know, I'm not saying the BBC, I suspect you're entirely right to do what the public would demand they do, but in other parts of the world it doesn't seem to be happening.
Well, on banking is actually the reverse. You know, the BBC is following pretty much the general corporate line of reducing basic salaries. In banking, basic salaries are having to be increased so as to avoid or try to reduce the furore going on regarding the so-called bonuses, which is actually nearer to commission than bonuses, and reducing the percentage of commission, thereby and having to increase, in order to be able to stay competitive with the rest of the world, the basic salaries. But that in itself is not working. You know, the fact is that those banks that we want to make a great deal of money for this country because we want their revenue, we want the taxes that are paid on it, are losing the top quality staff to competitors in another country where they're making profits for another country and paying taxes to another country. So it has become self-defeating, and this is principally be generated by the politicians who are only too glad to push the focus of the witch hunt away from themselves.
Yes, I can understand that. Sean Springer, nice to talk to you. Thank you very much.